bourbon fans, another night on the deck. And tonight, Deck Night on the Rocks, we're going to talk about something completely different. You can see that we have Weller sitting here. That's not what we're going to talk about. Find out. We have to watch and see. Back on the deck, guys. I'm Homer.
I'm Amy.
And back gracing us with her presence, finally, for the first time in who knows how long.
Lexi.
All right.
Maybe just for tonight. We'll see.
Go back behind the camera. All right, Amy, why are we here? It doesn't matter why we're here unless we ask for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, and share. And also, you have to go visit thegramco.com. Why do I always screw that up? It's gramco.com, and their website is thegramco.com. So go to Gramco's website at thegramco.com. Check out all their awesome, awesome products. The gummies, the hard candies, the merchandise, the shirts, the cups, the coffee,
everything.
Clear Mix, the new line of sports cream that is on the Sativadol line for you to rub into your joints and ailments. So go check those out at thegramco.com. Use our discount code DKNRocks20, get a 20% discount. All their awesome products. All right, Gramco. Why are we here, Amy? And it does matter now that we said all that.
So now that it matters, we are going to tell you.
We're here tonight to talk about a conversation we had the other night. This past weekend, we went to Louisville and had a long weekend of bourbon drinking and experiencing the city of Louisville. Now, while we were there, we got a flight of old label Weller. Now, if you notice, these are not old labels because we can't get them. They are the exact same expressions that we had, the Special Reserve, the 107, and the 12-year. And I enjoyed them greatly. Now, is there a big difference between the old labels and this? I really couldn't tell you because I don't have them sitting next to each other to compare them. I just know I really enjoyed them. We had a good conversation that night.
Yeah, where were we? What restaurant?
Repeal.
Repeal.
In Louisville on Main Street. It was Repeal. Like repeal the
Oh, yeah, that's
Prohibition, the 18th Amendment. Had a great conversation that night. It really wasn't about Wellers. It wasn't about what we like about the bottles or the flavors or the old label compared to new label. It was just good. It was just an enjoyable experience.
Regardless if it's allocated or hard to find or anything, some people, they're like, oh, it's just because you're a snob.
You know, they turn their nose up to it because it's hard to find. They'll see it in the store, like, I'm not getting it because I'm not playing that allocated and getting that, or, you know, the hell with Buffalo Trace or whatever. You know, we were sitting there and we were drinking, and it was like, man, this is good. This is smooth. It tastes great. It just kind of hit me. It's like, who gives a shit what it is or what the story behind it is or who makes it or doesn't make it or how you can find it if you can't find it or whatever. If it's good, it's good. You know, we can talk all day long about allocated and if we're going to try to chase it and pay secondary prices and stuff like that. When you have the bottle in front of you and you're drinking it, does any of that matter at that second?
No.
Not really.
As long as you like it.
So we're going to open these up, not based on, and we're going to talk about, we're just going to drink these three while we talk about that. And
you can tell the Antique 107 is one of our favorites.
Yes.
I think it's delicious.
I don't get why Buffalo Trace puts damn.
Yeah, I was about to say, this one has a cork.
Screw tops on their 12-year bourbon. And
there has to be a reason.
Even on the Special Reserve, Amy went heavy as shit on that.
Guess we better drink it. These are hard to, I'm sure the reason he is saying that, because it is, when it's Wellers and it's these, it is hard to find. And sometimes the price gets too
ridiculous. Now, we got all three of these at retail price because we got them all at North Shore Wine and Spirits. But I was fortunate. Actually, no, we didn't. We traded a 6-year Wilderness Trace for this. And I haven't been able to find it anywhere in the store. So Amy went heavy on that pour, which sucks because you can see how much we have left.
And anytime I come in, I'm like, oh, I'll just get some antique. He's like, nope, try something else.
Yeah. So let's just sip on these, and then we'll talk about not so much about it being a Weller or what it is in the bottle, but just if it's good bourbon. And should I go drink a Larceny instead of this? Because these are all wheated bourbons. And if I want a wheated bourbon, I hear a lot of people say go with Larceny because it's an easy one to find and it's cheap. Well, I don't like Larceny.
No.
And you?
I hate it.
It's not good. Maker's Mark's good stuff, but is it great? I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough to mix a drink with, and it doesn't suck. It's not horrible. Now, we also went to Maker's Mark this weekend.
That's going to come more from the Dakotas or Wisconsin, where it does grow more regionally. All of those grains are heavily inspected before they ever make it. This is where we will start to prepare them for the cooking process. We're going to break those grains down into a coarse cereal-like consistency, leaving a lot of the husks. And
to be honest with you, I've enjoyed what we tasted at their tasting more than I have recently.
Yeah.
but it's still not as good as this. Special Reserve smells good. You know, this is the cheapest, the lowest brand of their expressions of Wellers there are. And that, for that being a cheap, low dollar bourbon, that's good.
After it being cheap and low dollar?
Yeah.
So how much is this
It's
on
like
the shelf?
on the shelf of retails of $39 to $49 if you can find it for that much.
Is that true though? Can you really find it like
yeah,
that now?
we've actually found one for $29.
You can always tell when you haven't drank because you really do have to take that first one and not count it.
Appease the palate. So you gotta burn those taste buds to make them relax to be able to take that second sip.
And that's a lot of, we've discovered a lot of time that we are at any of these tastings that people really need to do that before they can like it.
Yeah, because this one is really good. I enjoy that a lot. And you know, like I've said in the past, I think I started as a weeder bourbon drinker because it's easier to drink, it's smoother, it doesn't have much kick on, it's a little sweeter. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm not that big of a weeded fan anymore.
I think it tastes too oaky for me.
Really oaky?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we get an oak in that.
No, I mean weeded ones in particular.
Well, you're probably getting a lot of that grass grain,
yeah,
you know, from the wheat. But we can't focus on talking about it specifically. It's just, is it good?
It is good.
Is it good?
It is good.
So is it worth sitting there talking shit about Weller all the time? Or is it, oh, you're a Weller snob, or you're an allocated snob, or you're just chasing the big bottles, the big boys, or the big names?
Well, see, because I don't like Buffalo Trace. I don't want to sit on Buffalo Trace, and I really don't like Blanton's as much as he does. But when it comes to Weller, I do like Weller. So I could care less what the name is.
I don't chase it. If it's available and I find it and I see it,
well,
then
and
I'll get it.
especially when you really like it.
Yeah, like the reason I got this one is because I knew a guy at work had one, and he had a couple other higher end Buffalo Trace products. And I was like, hey, if you don't want that 107, I'll trade you, because he never had Wilderness Trail. He never had a 6-year, and it's hard to find a 6-year around here. So I was like, hey, I got a Wilderness Trail 6-year trade. I got a trade for it. I'm glad I did, because I still haven't had a chance to buy it, but I did get this one and this one at retail. North Shore Wine and Spirits, that Wilderness Trail, I did not pay secondary market for it. I paid retail for it, so I traded it. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, all these are retail bottles.
That 107, I love it.
Oh.
It is. It's. I know he hates saying it, but it's delicious. It is. It really is delicious. It's that kind that you could really sit anywhere at any time, whatever mood you are, make you smile. Got that hug.
It's got a lot of honey right when I put it in the hole. It goes right to honey for me.
Did you nose it first? Because it is so much. It has got that honey and that sweeter taste. And sweeter's notes on it. And I think, and I'm very, everything goes together. So when you nose it first, it's going to help you on what you're tasting.
So that's two, and they're both good. Now, I'm not to compare or say which one we like better, but I will say stepping up the line is getting better. But again, this video is not about Wellers or which one's better. It's about why go buy Larceny. If there's a Larceny bottle and this bottle sitting next to each other and they're both retail, I'm buying this over Larceny.
Which is cheaper.
Well, Larceny can be $29 to $39. Now that's for the yellow label. That's the regular weeded. Black barrel proof. We've usually around here, if you can find it, it's like $150, but we've seen it for like $69. If I'm sitting at a liquor store and they have a Larceny or an Old Elk or a Maker's Mark, and these are on the shelf, I'm buying these first. I mean, it's just better.
It is. Have we had this before?
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. This is superb.
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 I like that word. It's better than delicious.
Smell that.
I will smell it.
Nose it. I'm sorry, nose it.
Oh, wow.
That's really good.
Goodness.
This one is still my favorite, I think, but this Weller is, I think, a little bit easier on the palate. A little bit more. Yeah, Wellers are definitely in our top regardless. It's always, and Weller's also somebody who comes in the house and they're like, oh, we don't like Weller, or we don't like bourbon, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's easy to give them this.
Go to Weller and they're like, oh, well, I like this one.
Yeah, because it's all these. I mean, just again, I'm not comparing the three, but stepping up the line, it just gets better. I think that one tastes as good as the 107, but it's an easier and a smoother drink. And being older, it's going to have a little less kick to it, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is way smoother. It doesn't have as much burn on it. It could also be because our tongue is already
true. Done. Should be right about that. I mean, we've already the first. Even though you're taking that first drink, you got to get the mouth allocated. What's the word I want to use? Prepared for your bourbon. So that one might have been, getting us ready, and now we've had these and our mouth's ready to accept the burns of the bourbon. This is
you want to smell this?
Really good. It's been a while. Give it a sniff.
See which one you like.
You gotta open your mouth.
Open your mouth, remember.
Breathe in.
And then exhale.
Breathe out.
What do you smell? Lots of wheat.
Lots of wheat. Well, it's a wheated bourbon. You smell chocolate in there?
I like this. Antico 107. It's a lot more delicious.
Let's finish this, Amy, with not about the Wellers, but just about what we were saying. So I'm going to say some names, and I know it's been a while since we've tasted them. I want you to tell me if you can remember or would think that name or something that you would buy over this. If the price was same.
Over Weller.
Yeah, over these bottles.
Okay.
So think 39, 49, 50 to 69.
Yeah, and don't go buying more than that.
Yeah, and this, we paid $41 for this. I just said 59 to 69 because I'm giving people a little give and take for the allocated mark, and other towns do charge more than what we pay here sometimes. Names. We're going to start with the first one we've already mentioned a few times, Larceny.
Oh, well, absolutely not for me, because I wouldn't even choose if it was the only bourbon on the shelf.
All right. Maker's Mark. Based on this weekend's experience.
No, this weekend sort of changed me on Maker's Mark, but I'll still go with Weller on the taste alone.
Old Elk weeded. Now, it's been a little while, but we really enjoyed Old Elk.
Old Elk, and it's still Weller beats it out.
Okay. So do you remember when we went to Justin's House of Bourbon last year and we had that Pappy 12, which would be probably the exact same thing as this?
I do remember, but can I tell you what it tastes like? It wasn't, no.
Can I remember for you?
Yeah.
I know after we drank that Pappy, now it could have been based on expectation. We were extremely underwhelmed. We did not like it, but it was like, I don't need to pay money for this. This is not worth $50. You know, so I would say right now, based on my remembrance of how we discussed that day, that Weller 12-year, which is about the same, would be considered, I would say, the same as Pappy 12-year. That's better.
Okay, so give me one that you may go over Weller for. What would you rather?
You asked the question, what would I rather? Well,
so one liquor one bourbon that you would tell me that, okay, here's your Weller, eat it out of any three of them, and what is next to it that you might grab besides it?
I think the only wheated bourbon that I would buy
over Weller
is none of them.
Really?
I mean, the only ones I can think of right now that we've had, a Pappy 12-year, Wilderness 12, which I didn't ask you, so do you think you would drink a Wilderness 12 of this? I don't either. Old Elk and Maker's Mark.
There's got to be more weeded out there.
There is, but we haven't really drank them. You know, we have weeded bourbons in here. I can't think of any weeded that's better, and it's definitely not Larceny, which is like the #1 go-to for everybody that says, if you want something besides Weller, go with a Larceny.
I feel like we need to have a Weller and a Larceny out here.
We're going to try pour a Larceny here. And again, we're not talking which one's better, which is that.
So which one are you going to go comparison
Well,
to?
this is the cheapest one. This is cheap. So
okay.
Let's go with those two cheapers. So again, guys, this video is not about who's better, what's better, why it's better. We're talking about good bourbon compared to, a lot of people say this is good bourbon, but to me, I'm thinking higher end bourbon to lower end bourbon. This is not a high end bourbon. It's never been thought as a high end bourbon. It's just people like it.
But like what we're talking about, who cares what's high end, what's low end? What would you go after?
But I guarantee you guys, and I'm okay with that, go ahead and throw down in the comments section all you want about what you think and what we're saying. You can say Larceny's way better than Weller ever has been, ever thought about being. Tell us how crazy you think we are, or what we're talking about is dumb, or if you think that what we're saying with these Wellers is just good bourbon, and I'm not worried about who it's coming from or how it's allocated or secondary markets, all that nonsense. Just juice in the bottle.
Got some honey notes. Just on notes alone, it's a
special reserve.
Sweeter.
It's completely different. It's way different.
It's not completely different, but it's this has a lot more notes and flavoring just on the smelling end. I mean, you can pick up so much more.
So much more full flavored. That one there smells like water with a little bit of fire in it.
Now, I'm getting those sweeter notes, that honey, that caramel a little bit.
I'm not saying that it doesn't have those things. What I'm saying is when you compare these two to each other, this one right here, it has the very first smell.
It's like a wheat candle.
Very first smell of watered down.
And
we're going to knock this out real quick. We're about done. Stick it out. Watch till the end. Got hair everywhere. Your boob is a hair catcher.
I mean, I'm getting those notes of the caramel and the vanilla. It's not bad. Now, when I compare it to Weller.
She liked the Larceny better than the Weller. That's okay. Go ahead. It's been a while since we've had this. Things change.
Going on the notes and the smells, Weller beats it out. But when I went back to
tasting it,
yeah.
Well, I will say before you say it, let me say I think maybe. No, I like the Weller better.
Yeah.
But I get what maybe you're coming from because I know what you prefer in your bourbons. This has a lot more kick to it, a little more harshness. It burns more, has a lot of action in the backside. This is really smooth and goes down simple and doesn't have as much activity in your mouth as this does. So I could see why I know you and you're what you like that you would think that's better.
But how many times have I said this
You
is
hate
disgusting?
it? A million times. But how many times have you said that about things that you've liked and then didn't like?
You know, though,
Our palate's changed. It's been such a long time.
We were just
since
having
you've
this
had
conversation of, you know, we were sitting, where were we sitting? And we were having a tasting.
Evan Williams, I think.
Was it Evan Williams? And we were
'Cause
sitting here saying, we thought we hated this. Maybe in a year, we're going to think this one's better than the other one because we've been drinking more of it for way longer, and your palate starts changing, and you start, it's like a wine. You start noticing and you start
more
knowledgeable.
Evolved. Palate's more evolved, and you are in your head. You're more knowledgeable
so you can
about
pick out those notes.
what you're tasting.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago, when we really got into this and started doing this, this is one of the first bourbons we tried and hated it. Hated it. We both hated it.
No, I think that there was one that we even poured out.
Oh, we poured out. That was the Redbreast. No, that was the Heaven Hill Redbreast. Heaven's Door finished in Redbreast cask. Yeah,
Shit,
we did.
So maybe we need to go do that again.
We poured that shit out.
Yeah, it was like.
But
so it depends on where you're at in your
journey.
In your journey of
so we started
bourbon and whiskey.
We started this video based on the fact that we had a conversation the other night about when I had those old label Wellers about saying, you know, this shit is just
it smells
good.
disgusting.
It's just good, you know, and I can't sit here and talk about I don't like this or that because it's a name or because it's a brand or it's because it's made by this person or it's allocated or you know secondary market. I like the Wellers better. I enjoy it better. I enjoy the smoothness of it. But I think Amy's changed her tune. I think she might like the Larceny. Now, but the thing is she's straight comparing
just the two. So when I go to this one in here, I'm all about this, but this is the 12-year.
So back to the whole point of the videos, good bourbons. The point of this is drink what you like. Drink what, you know, we brought the Wellers out because what spurred on the conversation was the Wellers at that bar the other night and having them. And I was like, man, these are so damn good. And I don't want to, I just like, it's good bourbon, it's good bourbon. I don't care, you know, the allocated, the name, the who makes it, where it's coming from, how many you can buy, who puts it back for the end of the year allocation sale. If your liquor store is charging $150 for a $39 bottle, you know, and then this, I think, unfortunately for her, we just said Weller was great and we hated Larceny, and then we pull out the Larceny and she's like, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Is it unfortunate? She just learned that maybe she likes this stuff now. But that's the whole point. Good bourbon is good bourbon. Who gives a shit what name is on the damn label? Who makes it? Heaven Hill or fucking Buffalo Trace? Where it came from? Where you bought it? What market you got it from? If you had to trade it with your friend or spend $400 on the secondary market, because if you have $400 and you want to make it expensive for the rest of us and don't give a shit, fucking go do it.
We're just not gonna buy it.
Larceny, I don't hate it like I used to, but it's definitely not a Weller to me.
No.
Her on the other hand,
I would take that one over this, but when it goes to these two, that's not gonna happen. But now I gotta go try the black label.
we already liked the black label.
Oh.
So
comparisons though, y'all know how I feel about that.
never mind. We'll save the black label. I'll tell you what. Maybe we'll do another video and we'll do Larceny Standard and Larceny Barrel Proof.
Well, and then you got to compare it to one of these.
We hate comparison videos.
I hate comparison. You never know what you're going to get.
Guys, that's it. Good bourbon's good bourbon. If it's allocated secondary market, where you get it, where you don't get it, who makes it, that's what we were talking about tonight. It has really nothing to do with the Wellers and the Larceny. Good bourbon's good bourbon. And you drink what you like.
Just don't pay outstanding prices.
You know what?
Because it will be around one day.
Because Amy just proved that even though we haven't liked Larceny in a long time, the whole idea. I don't believe in secondary market. Don't pay secondary prices. But for me, if I found an Antique 107 sitting on a shelf for $59, I would buy it all day long before I bought a $29 bottle.
I probably would
Larceny.
too, though.
I would buy this at $39 before a $29 bottle of Larceny.
And
so
don't give up when you're trying different things and you can't. You're like, I don't understand what everybody's talking about. Well, that was us in the beginning. Keep going. Give us a call. Come sit with us on the deck. We got lots.
Plenty of bourbon to share.
Yes.
So keep trying, keep drinking. Don't turn your nose up to something just because you didn't like it 6 months ago.
And if you see us out, we're sort of sucking.
Oh, yeah.
We saw someone out in Kentucky, and
so
it's been twice now. Somebody said hi to us, and I guess we're just
three times,
and we're just sort of stunned. Like,
so you know,
why are you talking to us?
Speaking of which help us out. Remember our Blanton's giveaway. Once we hit 1,000 followers, we're giving away a bottle of Blanton's. So everybody like to share with your friends and family, and get this out there so we can get to 1,000 followers. Because we only have like 850 followers. And back to what she was just brought up, is while we're in Louisville, someone walked by us and said, hey,
we were on Main Street.
On Main Street.
So if that guy, hi.
Yes.
If you're watching, we suck. We thought about you later.
The fella in Louisville walking down Main Street that said, hey, love your stuff. And we just kind of like, meh.
Help us out when you see us. Be like, get a picture. Let us introduce it. Let us go buy you a drink.
Whenever we walk past, we're like, man, we should have stopped, turned the camera on, introduced the guy, said hi, did all this stuff, and we just walked by like a couple idiots. And 2 weeks ago, Mother's Day, on your birthday, we were sitting at a restaurant in Knoxville, and some guy walks up to us.
We're at Drake's.
We're at Drake's, so if you were the guy that walked up to us at Drake's, sorry.
Comment below so we can go buy you a drink.
It's our fault for being like, we're not used to that. But we're not saying don't do it. We're saying please do it, and say, hey, next person that walks up to us and says, hey, don't be a dick, buy me a drink.
We will. We definitely will.
We didn't mean to be rude or blow you off. It's just, it's kind of new to us. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Long video. Drink what you like. We're out.
My hair is still growing.
What's our time? Subtract about 5 minutes. So you know we can hear that. So just tear it open. Do it. Throw it to me.
Just go in the... Look out if you hear a door. Philip's almost here.